Wow, very impressive cover of Rolling Stone magazine there. Look at that. Wow. Now, this picture has a bit of a backstory, doesn't it? What's the story here?
Are you making a pun? Yes, it has a backstory.
Yes, it's quite a backstory,
yeah. Quite a backstory. Well, oh,
yeah.
Dear. Yeah, they wanted me to be there with just my hand here and a very tall, I suppose, machine gun through my, in front of me with nothing else.
Now, how does this work? When you do you know this ahead of time?
Since I didn't do it. I don't know.
But I mean, do you know ahead of time they're going to ask you? Did you get there and they go, oh, by the way, we want you naked?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they try to say, like, but other people told us you would. And they're trying to pull a fast one on you, right? Because if it was, say, Bob Dylan showing up to do the cover of Rolling Stone, they're not going to say, Bob, cover your breasts and put a machine gun leg right here. I'm just going out there on a limb. But it turned out fantastic.
Well, it did turn out. And in fairness, I don't think anybody wants to see Bob Dylan naked. So I think, I think
could be that one person.
You have to be, yeah. I mean, those of us. But so they get you to put is that like a bikini machine?
No, those were actual, kind of vintage bullets, if you will. And from holding it up, I had about 100 little tiny bullet holes in my arm until I was smart enough at the end of the day to flip it around. But I'm a little slow.
Oh, well.
But it looks good. And that's what counts.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. Because you say in the article that you have the luck of a two-leaf clover. Are you an unlucky person?
I really actually am.
Really?
I really am, but I did not know that. I mean, I knew things were strange, but Robert Rodriguez, who directed Planet Terror, the side of Grindhouse, one of the sides that I'm in, he has an amazing luck. Like, he'll buy a piece of land, and all of a sudden the government wants to put, a railroad through it, so he gets millions of dollars.
Right, okay.
I buy 2 inches, and it, drops out by 75%. Or I'm always hurting myself. That's really...
Hurting yourself.
Always hurting myself. So it's kind of bad luck in the sense that I'm on the plane, and the person opens the overhead compartment, and every single thing in her bag drops out and hits me in the head. But every constant. And I'm not even... upset about these things. In fact, I was actually trying to think of one the other night because your producer was saying, she'd read the same thing. And
right.
She was like, have you hurt yourself since, your car accident right after New Year's? And then I know right before the Oscars, I thought I heard the doorbell ring. I had to get this doorbell thing, and it was a dress that I had to wear.
Yeah.
And I was outside cutting somebody's hair in my backyard, jabbed a huge chunk out of my finger, so I got blood spurting, but I think I hear the doorbell, so I'm racing, smash into the door that's open, parting my 2 little toes like the sea. Fall on the floor, blood spurting everywhere. Finally, I limp to the door and nobody's there, which is typical. That is very two-leaf. But then I was thinking I was baking 2 nights ago, and I have the crazy oven that you turn it on, and I think it fills up with gas, and then every single time I forget that then the flame comes on and it explodes really loud and slams itself open. But I was right under it, and I was wearing flip-flops, and the whole thing shot flames underneath and burned the top of my foot.
Yeah,
so that's a common.
I would get a new oven. That doesn't sound good.
It is shocking. It scares me every single time, but now I know not to wear flip-flops and stand under it.
Your life is sort of unusual. You were born in Italy, right, under unusual circumstances. Tell me about that.
Well, I don't know if it's unusual, but I was born in a barn by an 89-year-old midwife who was blind.
Okay, that's unusual. Okay, I would say that's unusual, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a birth certificate until I was 10, actually, and it didn't occur to me until a couple years ago to think, there's no record. My mom doesn't remember if I was born in the day or the night, so my birthday could be a completely arbitrary one.
Wow.
And your wife and I share, I guess, the same birthday. My alleged birthday. That I gotta assume is my birthday.
Right, okay.
It was told to me by not anybody else. There's no record. But I never, ever have to shut a door because I was, in fact, born in a barn. I can always say yes.
You were born in a barn.
I was, in fact, born in a damn barn. I don't have to shut it. And, but, so, yeah, the horoscope thing is weird.
So what do you do on your horoscope? You open the paper. How do you know which horoscope to read?
I actually read all 12 every day, and I find the one that sounds the best, and then I think, that must be me. I must be a Libra today. Yes.
Do you find those work? They always have that, you will meet a friend today. Bob, whoa. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're kind of, well, there was a guy that was writing for the LA Times for a long time, and I thought, well, this guy is the best, and then it turned out they were syndicated, and he'd been dead for 7 years. I have actually lost some faith in the horoscopes from that. I am bitter and jaded now.
Yeah, okay. Now, I want to ask you about Grindhouse, this character. When this script is brought to you, I mean, did you suddenly go out, because you're too young to remember these movies, did you go out and look at a bunch of these old type of films, these 70s type of exploitation films to get a feel for it?
Well, I'm a huge old movie buff, but I kind of
Okay.
stopped around 1962.
Okay.
After Doris Day, I kind of like petered out from
After
there.
the
I like the
L-shaped
pretty
room.
cute
Yeah,
things,
okay.
exactly. Anything with lots of gauze on the, on the
Yeah.
mirror. So that's how I like to be shot. So if there's a lot of Vaseline on this lens, that's what we like.
See, I always like those old movies when they're going to have sex, you see autumn leaves fall.
Oh.
Yeah, you know,
Or like, yeah,
And then autumn
you know,
leaves.
or I like it when people go to bed and they have the two beds.
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
do you do? Hold hands across the thing? I've always been fascinated by how Lucy and Ricky actually had little Ricky. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
an aside. So I get the script, and actually Quentin Tarantino, because I was in his side of the movie
Right.
as well, he held screenings for us at his house, and they
Okay.
were a pretty genius in their awfulness. I'll
Right.
put it that way. But this movie is, it's really, there's a website called RottenTomatoes.com, and what they do is they collate all the best reviews, or just the reviews period, on any given movie. And there's a lot of movies out last weekend, say, that had like 9 or 10. And we were in the 90s, and there's
Oh, cool.
no movies that are great are in the 70s usually.
Cool.
I mean, we've got amazing reviews from New York Times.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got
it's a lot of fun. I saw the
A
picture of
from
both of them.
Entertainment
They're
Weekly.
terrific. It's
No,
terrific.
it is so fun and so crazy and madcap. And I know Rodriguez called it a screwball comedy with some gore.
Yeah.
And that's how I would
Well, tell
pitch
us
it.
about your character with the prosthetic leg with the machine gun.
She's a loser.
Yeah.
God love her. She's a loser, but she could kill you if you said that. No, she's actually a go-go dancer. At the beginning, she's got both legs, so she's doing a little fancy dance. And then throughout the course of the night, she loses her leg. And then Freddie Rodriguez, who plays my boyfriend, has kind of a gun fetish. And my first leg is a table leg, and then it gets broken. And then Freddie comes to me and says, you need to become what you're really meant to be.
Yeah. And it's a true story, by the way. A
It
lot
is.
of people don't realize this is based on the actual woman. Now, did you do your own stunts? Was it hard walking with that? I mean, I like the way you walk in the movie. It made me laugh.
I did do a lot of my own. Can I stand up?
Sure,
Am I
go
attached
ahead.
to something? Yeah, I did do a lot of my own stunts. This side was on a 4-inch boot, and then this side is in a hard cast. It was quite heavy.
Yeah.
And I was on a ball bearing because a rifle would have a tiny little opening. That's what you're standing on, and so it was like hopping along as fast as everybody else. Basically like that, in a mini skirt and a little top, where I was like, okay, suck my stomach in, check. Limp, check. Keep his leg straight, check. And yeah.
Well, let's show people a clip. What is
kick-ass.
this scene we're going to see here? This is where, do you know what this is? I can't tell anything
I
from
know. What? Oh, I think I'm sad because I just lost my table leg.
that. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's take a look. Here we go.
I broke my leg.
Okay, I made you something. Stand.
Very good. Grindhouse is the movie playing in theaters now. Rose McGowan. Rose, thank you. Very delightful. Be right back with Good Charlotte right after this.